people. My name is Kymani Mocha Jade, Kymani Jade for short, and you've tuned into More Lyrical. I am here bringing to you honest, transparent, truth-tellingly free conversations on mental health and the spirit of healing justice. Y'all, it's been a lot, right? Like this whole 2021 illusion that things would be better somehow between December 31st and January 1st has been completely blown to shreds. Right now, we are dealing with a mutated strain of COVID-19, an entire insurrection, domestic terrorist that is. And we're also dealing with the realities of the racial tension that's been so thick we could cut it with a machete since 2020. Matter of fact, since the birth of this nation. Bruh, sis, fam, I know you stressed. There's a lot going on. We've got a lot on our chest, on our hearts, on our minds. And you may be struggling with accessing mental health care because the reality of it all is that everybody can't ball. We don't all have insurance and we all can't pay out of pocket. That is for sure. Or maybe your insurance doesn't really cover the cost of your therapist of choice. So what do you do when you don't have a therapist? What are your options? Well, this video, I'm gonna talk about how you can access therapy without a therapist. First things first, obey your thirst. So many of us spend a ridiculous amount of time on social media. So while you're there, tap into the therapists who are on social media and in the trenches with us. Some of my favorite are, of course, Therapy for Black Girls. If you checked out my video on Therapy for Black Folks, you can learn a list of mental health providers, practitioners, professional healers, therapists, life coaches, so forth and so on. So please be sure to check that video out. But I also want to recommend 2 more people to follow, particularly on Instagram. So I want to shout out Seerut K. Chawla. She is a London-based trauma-informed integrative psychotherapist. And you can find her at Seerut K. Chawla on Instagram. Remember to check out the description box and I'll leave all of these helpful handles, links, and resources just for you. Also, be sure to check out boundaries expert and therapist Nedra Tawwab. She is on Instagram at Nedra Tawwab. Click on the links below to check her out. Outside of social media though, we still have the opportunity to commune with a larger group of people in support groups, which I've talked about in my videos before. NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, hosts regular online support groups via Zoom, and that's a great way to share in the process of a form of group therapy, if you will. And of course, when things get extra tough and you find yourself in crisis and you have a medical emergency, and if you feel that you have the space and the capacity to still talk through some of your problems and challenges, there are always suicide hotlines like New York City Well. You can text them, you can call them, and they'll give you access to therapists and mental health counselors who can walk you through whatever your troubles may be. Another way to self-therapy is by checking out self-help books. There are a lot of titles that were popular last year and who have stayed on the top of New York Times bestseller lists for years, like The Power of Now or The 4 Agreements, which I've talked about in one of my older videos on 7 ways to let shit go. You can check that out here. And I want to recommend 2 new titles. First is Bell Hook's latest release, All About Love. Now, if you are a Black feminist or a womanist, whether you be a sister or a brother, then you must know about the historical treasure, the gem that is Bell Hooks. And in this latest title, Hooks talks about what are the causes of a polarized society and what are the steps towards healing those divisions that continue to cause people to suffer. Now, why this is helpful on an individual level is that she looks at love from a new paradigm that is sacred and redemptive and brings the possibility of not only healing for our nation, but for us on an individual level. We can be inspired to instill compassion, care, and strength, not only into our worlds, but our workplaces, our schools, our homes, our families, and ourselves. Second, I would love to recommend The Body Is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor. Sonia Renee Taylor took The Body Is Not an Apology and turned it into an entire movement. And this was birthed out of a conversation she had with a friend of hers who lives with a disabled body and found herself impregnated because she simply did not have the courage to tell her partner that she wasn't comfortable having unprotected sex, feeling that it was enough that he was having sex with her with a disabled body. To which Sonia told her, "My love, your body is not an apology." This book is about unpacking the systems of oppression that disturb the peace that we have with our own bodies, that makes injury out of difference and indoctrinates our entire culture and society with body-shaming ideologies. This book, much like All About Love, is about our lessons and the practice and the art of radical self-love and how that can help us heal our nation. So if you're looking for new self-help books to check out in 2021, don't miss out on Bell Hooks' All About Love and Sonia Renee Taylor's The Body Is Not an Apology. Self-therapy is also self-reflection. And a third way to engage in this process is to begin or restart journaling, writing down your thoughts, getting in tune with your feelings. This is the process of building our emotional IQ. Journaling helps us to get clear on our thoughts, to identify the meaning that we attach to different things. It helps you to clearly define problems for yourself, evaluate what you think you know, and also recognize your growth and your opportunities for growth. It's a way to stay in touch with yourself. You can look back on your journal entries and ask yourself, were you and are you thriving, surviving, struggling, or just in crisis altogether? If you're interested in learning more about how journaling can help you, I recommend you check out licensed therapist Rashonda James right here on YouTube. She's put together a whole playlist on exactly this topic, and she provides you with prompts for healing, prompts on self-discovery, prompts like, what's your vision for the world right now? Go ahead and leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Rashonda also mentions a mental health app that you can check out, so don't miss out on that playlist. Another therapeutic practice is the practice of mindfulness. You can practice mindfulness in meditation, whether that's silent or moving, like doing yoga, that is. I love Bikram yoga. Unfortunately, it's not really an option in the middle of a pandemic. Practicing mindfulness still can happen anywhere you are, right where you are. Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment. Think about what it is that you hear. My beautiful, wonderful, sultry, deep, dark, roasted, cinnamony voice. For example, what do you smell? What are the aromas or odors that are in your area? Do you smell cooking in the kitchen? Or maybe your perfume? What is intriguing your senses? What do you see in front of you other than me? What's beyond your computer screen? Is there anything that you sense with the touch of your hands? Is it the velvety softness of your sofa? Or maybe the cotton of your shirt? Ooh, this is soft. Do a body scan. Check for the feelings and sensations that are rippling through your body. How is your breathing? Are you breathing shallowly? Sit still and check for these things. Take a moment right now. Soften your forehead between your eyebrows. Open your mouth and wiggle your jaw. Gently roll your neck into a circle. Drop your shoulders. Take a deep breath into your chest. Let go of any unconscious gripping in your stomach just for a moment. I know you're trying to keep that midsection tight. get them summer abs ready. But right now, just relax. Notice any clenching in your glutes. Are they feeling tight? You've been doing your squats, sis. Let them butt cheeks release. Do you feel it already? There's such a huge difference when we take a moment to just be still and mindful of our space, of the present, and of our bodies. And I know it's January, so everyone's getting ready to take care of their body. Take the time to practice movement to ensure that you're resting and restoring your body and your mind and your breath. Make love to the sunlight and nourish yourself. Practicing self-therapy is practicing self-love, is practicing self-care. It is more sleep, more music, more tea, more books, more sunrises, more creating, more long walks, more tight hugs and air fives, more dreaming, more manifesting, more fun, more love. And while you're finding more opportunities to access love, find your people, build and strengthen your support network. This is one of the best things you can do for yourself outside of therapy. If you're feeling disconnected and craving community, reach out to your trusted family, your good friends, and even close coworkers. And when you do this, keep in mind that our friends are not our therapists. And while it's always great to have someone to confide in or just laugh with or vent to or just take your mind off of all of the hardships of the world right now, emotional labor is exhausting and it can be intense. And so when we go to our friends, we want to make sure that we are giving more than we are taking. And we also want to keep in mind when we exit these conversations, do you feel energized or drained? And how do you think you've left them feeling? Find your people and take care of yourself and each other. Another great practice for healing is to learn to set up and maintain boundaries. We talk a lot about this, having boundaries, but what is the benefit of boundaries? Boundaries allows us to improve our relationships. In particular, boundaries protect our relationships from becoming unsafe, and they allow us to conserve our emotional energy. Building the ability to advocate for yourself builds your self-esteem, and it reduces the chances of resentment in your relationships. We can set boundaries around our thoughts and emotions, our sexual desires and pleasures, our personal space, our stuff and possessions, and finances, our time, our energy, our culture, spirituality, religion, ethics, politics, all of it. My top 3 boundaries are asking for space and alone time, the right to my privacy, and communicating discomfort. I truly enjoy spending time with myself, and I'm learning that it's okay to say I need a few moments to myself. And this is perfect for when I want to process difficult feelings and give honor and space for those emotions. We have a right to our own time. I'm reclaiming mine. For me, it's also key to be able to articulate my discomfort clearly. There's no hush and sweeping stuff under the rug. It don't work for me. I am not afraid of conflict. I understand that conflict is natural. I think what's important is how we deal with conflict, how we enter into difficult conversations, and that we lead with empathy, compassion, and love. And I've updated my privacy policy. See, it's a privilege to be able to access another person closely and be invited into their world. And while I have a YouTube channel, I'm very clear about what parts of my life, my time, my energy, and my story that I'm willing to share. And I don't confuse the internet with my inner circle. And lastly, another great way to treat yourself, and when I say treat yourself, I mean give yourself a little therapeutic treatment, is to build trust with yourself by keeping your word to yourself and giving yourself some compassion when you don't. Trust that you also have the answers and you don't have to seek for them outside of yourself. Trust your intuition, but also question what you know, right? Do a little research. Maybe some cognitive behavior therapy at home. And still, avoid people who undermine your self-trust. The naysayers, the doubters, those who are always whispering negativities into your ear and planting seeds of doubt. And think about how you can be your own secret agent and self-saboteur. Think about what goals you have for yourself and check off those that are the most realistic. And while you're obtaining each and every one of those goals, speak kindly to yourself. This is part of the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Speak affirming language into your being and into your spirit, and see your spirit lift because of this. We all know shit gets tough, right? And what's really important is that we learn to pause and reset and not to give up, to rest and not to quit. What I've found to be helpful is to create a vision board at the beginning of the year, and alongside that, an achievement jar, a success bowl, or whatever you can make that can hold all of the beautiful things that have happened to you throughout the year, so that on December 31st, you can open that container and read through each and every one of the wonderful things that have happened to you. Not only that you have gained, but those things that have been bestowed on you as just pure blessings. And even if you don't do anything besides survive this year or last, be proud of yourself for even watching this video, for even asking the question, how can I take care of myself? Give yourself permission to let 2021 be whatever you want it to be. And remember, give yourself grace and compassion, not just this year, but every single day. Now, if you like this video, check out Therapy for Women, founded by licensed professional counselor Amanda E. White, who is at Therapy for Women on Instagram, where I got the inspiration for this video. As always, I wish you peace and progress. Stay lifted, y'all, and go blessed. Oh, before you go, come here. Don't tell nobody else. Matter of fact, tell everybody. You see down there in the corner, there's a subscribe button. And if you press on it, you and I can do this more often. In fact, click on the bell so you get notifications of all of my latest and upcoming videos. Stay tuned, everybody. Peace, peace.